Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review. We have a full house. We are celebrating Newcastle United's Carabao Cup victory at the weekend. Now, before anybody starts, I just want to address Alex's blonde hair situation. He is going to do it. Don't worry. He thinks he's found a hairdresser, so he's back down home now. So he is going to be taking care of that. So before anybody mentions it in the chat, it's happening, all right? And it will hopefully happen in time for the official match review tomorrow night, because we're going to talk about the game much more tomorrow night in depth about the performance and things like that. Tonight's all about celebrating. And I'm joined by all of my colleagues tonight. Of course, Lady Sam, who looks distinctly better than she did this morning. Just jumped out of bed, jumped straight on the show, and, well, there you go. Alex is a little tender at the moment because he was slaughtered yesterday and still has his inflatable sex toy with him as well. And, of course, Billy is with me. And if you notice me and Billy in the background on our green screens now, we have the Carabao Cup. Good evening, colleagues.
Good evening to all the Magpie Massive silverware winning Magpie Massive out there in Viewerland.
Yes.
Now, what a show we have for you guys. What a show. I have put together a montage from the game yesterday, a photo montage which lasts around 4 minutes. It's absolutely incredible. If it doesn't get your emotions going, nothing will. Susan has put together a fantastic best bits of the watch along when Billy completely loses it at full time because he's been waiting so long for this moment. Sam, you mentioned this morning that there was a lot of tears where you guys were, you and Alex yesterday. Just explain the emotions when that final whistle blew.
Surreal. Just strangers feeling like members of your family, just hugging everybody around you, and the elation. You know, it was just, I've never felt anything like it in my life. I said this morning, I've never seen so many grown men crying in one place, and even the people who we were around us talking to and stuff, they were like, "You get to experience this with your dad," so we all know what it's like to have it with people, and those who are thinking of others at this time who didn't get to spend it with them, then they'll be looking down. They would have saw that.
Alex, I mean, this is just something we've talked about from growing up, but mainly, on this show, we've always spoke about what it would be like to win a cup. What would the feeling be like? Just explain your euphoria at full time.
Well, let's hope that the voice holds up.
Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche, the Newcastle.
We played brilliantly there.
So it was incredible. It was the whole. It was just what Sam described there, plus so much more. I think it was the fact that it was the whole city, and probably 20-odd thousand, 30-odd thousand of the loyalist of Geordie's down in London anyway. There's still an entire city celebrating. But it was everybody. It was bus drivers, taxi drivers, Uber drivers, cars. Everybody was beeping up and down the roads all across the city centre. Yeah. Everybody just went to St. James's Park. The whole city. It didn't matter who you were, where you were. It was just crazy. It was a once in a lifetime thing. I know it'll happen again. We will win more trophies, but I think the first time is
magical.
Crazy.
Magical. And Billy, obviously, we did the commentary, and it was an honor to share that experience with you. I've said that, and I said that on the show this morning. Given what's happened to me and you health-wise the last month or so, just to see that was just a momentous occasion. And when we see the best bits, we'll see exactly what it meant. It was just a marvelous game to watch. Because I mean, to be fair, Billy, you were confident before we even kicked off. You were saying, "I'm not nervous at all. This is it. This is our time. We're going to go out there and we're going to do it." And by God, did we do it? And your emotions at the end were just like many others, because there was fans in the stadium bawling their eyes out.
Listen, I've been confident ever since that Anfield game where and it was confirmed by Eddie yesterday. He literally didn't play his cards on the table.
Yeah, he did.
And I said it yesterday, and I said it before that. I thought that all along that Alexander Isak out of the team for the Anfield game means that he was thinking of this game then. It just felt, everything felt right. When you get these six senses about things.
Yeah.
All along, ever since the semi-final, where we beat Arsenal, I didn't care who we got in the final. It was our time. And I just thought we'd won it more than them, and it proved to be. We did win it more than them. A lot more than them.
Now, obviously, guys, please do give the show a like if you enjoy it tonight, and do subscribe if you are new and you like what you see. Come and join this incredible community. Super chats are available, which will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. And, of course, you can take up membership as well. And, obviously, a huge thank you to Mamaroo Records for sponsoring the channel, based in Whitley Bay. If you can't get into Whitley Bay to see them, check them out online. It's pinned at the top of the description. David, Level 7 Dave is a new member of the channel. Keith T is a new member of the channel as well. Sam A with the super chat.
Yes.
Absolutely. J7 smashed him. Roadblock says Arsenal look to sign Bruno and Isak. Lol.
Well, they need to see the winners, don't they, Arsenal?
Yeah, Matty Davies is celebrating 2 years as a member. Thank you very much, Matty. Didn't Alex trust Lady Sam to do it in a hungover state? Clearly not. Right. Ian Toon Trader says, up the mags, and it's great to celebrate with the TTR crew. Thank you, buddy. Darren Cox says, get in, best day ever. Coming up for the parade on the 29th. You look awesome, Stato. I swore I'd get the badge tattooed, so booking that in soon. Toon. Yeah, I think it's about time I had another tattoo, actually. I haven't got a Newcastle tattoo, so I think that's on the card.
We were toying with the idea of a couple of Magpies yesterday as tattoos, but we were quite, You
would have been turned away. No, we're not doing this. Kaiser says, after Dan Burns' performance, wouldn't mind giving him a kiss. I think I went a bit further than that yesterday on the commentary, didn't I, Bill?
I think you might have done. I wouldn't be able to reach him.
Yeah. I, you know what I'm like during commentary. I mean, there's one in the best that I didn't even realise I'd said, but you'll see. Nick Thornton said, we smashed the Premier League's top 4 clubs to lift our trophy. So damn proud of our club. Absolutely. Right. Shall we see the best bits from the watch along, guys?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Because obviously you two wouldn't have seen it. It was a hell of a watch along. It really was. So here we go. Corner again. Burn with a header. He scored! Dan Burn has scored! Dan Burn has scored from a header! It's in the back of the net! Alan Shearer's jumping like crazy! And Newcastle United have the lead in the cup final! What a header from Dan Burn! Granny! What an absolute brilliant header from Burn! It's time to grab your granny, because she's going skinny dipping in the Thames, baby! It's 1-0! We bloody scored!
Yeah, it's, I said before, set pieces we've looked really threatening from. Great corner, great lead from Burn.
What a header that is, by the way! Pick that out, sunshine!
Power, down onto the ground, into the corner. It's a fantastic header. What a week Dan Burn.
Brilliant header. No chance for Kelleher. That is right in the corner. And Newcastle have taken the lead right on half-time, Billy. The perfect time to score.
It's a deserved lead as well. Let's be honest about it. This is no fluke. We deserve this. We won.
Absolutely.
We've been fantastic this first half.
And look at the celebrations. The subs are all in. Unbelievable, Billy Trey.
Well, we don't score very often at Wembley, let's be honest.
Let's keep our discipline till half-time, please, because Liverpool have not done nothing in this game yet. Murphy wins a throw-in. Oh, this is unbelievable. The Newcastle fans are doing their nuts in. They can't believe it.
1976 was the last goal we scored. Alan Gowling, strange enough, it's his birthday today.
I mean, it came about through... It was just a gently floated in corner. And what a header from Burn. What a header. Anyway, Trippier's ball across, and it's gone the back post. Oh, Kelleher! Isak scores! It's 2-0. No, he's offside. He's offside.
Oh, well, VAR will look, won't they, so?
Oh, God, stretch my anus with a vice. Oh, he's not offside, Billy.
Oh, I think he is. Unfortunately.
I don't think he is. I think he's level. He's got to be level there, Billy.
He's gone back off the keeper, so he's got to be on, surely.
He's onside, Billy. He's onside.
He's onside. He's onside. There's no doubt about that. Or is Bruno the one putting Keller off? I'm not sure he is.
Nah.
He's got a hand to it. But this goal should stand.
It hasn't. He's give offside. Here's Barnes. Nice 1-2 with Livramento down the left again. Livramento's left foot across the back post. Murphy down for Isak. That is 2-0. What a finish by Isak. Pick that out.
That's that one.
It's a goal for Isak. It's 2-0 for Newcastle United. What a finish from Isak. And they've come straight back down the other end. And it's 2-0 the Toon. What a ball by Livramento, Billy. A brilliant header back by Jacob Murphy. And a superb, swift finish from Isak into the net. And Newcastle 2-0 up, Billy.
Outstanding goal. Barnes and Livramento with a great combination down the left-hand side. Livramento with the bravery to go crossing in with his left foot to the back post where Murphy nods it back. Isak's finish was absolutely sublime with a volley. Great goal. 2-0 Newcastle.
Billy, the goosebumps are there. Brilliant header by Murphy. What a finish that is, Billy, by the way.
It's an outstanding finish and it's a great goal. It really is a great goal.
It's over! Billy, we've won the cup! Newcastle United have won the Carabao Cup! The curse is over! And Newcastle United win the cup, Billy! I cannot believe it! Newcastle have won the cup! It's incredible! The 70 years herd is over, guys! Newcastle United have won the Carabao Cup! And they've beaten the best team in Europe to do it! Absolutely unbelievable!
Oh, Paul.
Billy, we've won the cup! I can't believe it! Newcastle finally break the hoodoo! Oh my God!
Oh, fuck.
It's over, Billy! It's over! It's our time!
I always said it was our time. I always felt us to win the game. What a group of lads this is. What a day.
Oh, my actual God! I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. Newcastle, look at Shearer, man. He's gone mental.
We're going to see Bruno lift the cup. We're going to see Bruno lift the cup.
We're going to see lift the cup. I don't believe it. I cannot express how I can't express how we're feeling. Bruno's in tears. He's in floods of tears. I mean, look at Bruno. We've done it, Billy.
We've done it, mate. 70 years, gone, finished.
Shit the bed. More. Oh, my God. It doesn't feel real.
It's European football next season now, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely 100% European football. So there you go. That was the best bit. Sam, I noticed you with floods of tears there, especially at the end. I mean, Billy, for us doing that yesterday, it was just incredible, and just seeing the fans and seeing the fan zones and everything like that, and you know, just the tears were incredible, and nobody understands it more than Newcastle United fans. What we've been through, how we've got through it. The unity of the fans yesterday in the ground, at home, in the fan zones, everything just came flooding out at that full-time whistle.
Well, Lou Reed once wrote a song called Perfect Day, and yesterday was the perfect day. And I'm glad I spent it with you, Paul. It was a privilege to do it.
It was,
all the people in the chat.
Yeah.
What a phenomenal day. One that will never be forgotten. You know, it's something to tell your kids, your grandkids, and et cetera, about, because that was a day in history, a momentous day that, you know, nothing's as sweet as the first one. There'll be loads more coming, I assure you that. But nothing's ever going to be as sweet as that. The relief, the actual joy of seeing us lift silverware. Phenomenal day.
By the way, a big shout out to Brian, the True Geordie, because he messaged me this afternoon and said, brilliant show yesterday, really enjoyed it. So thank you, Brian. Alex could actually sing Perfect Day. They're giving his voice tonight, couldn't he? He's got the right tone. But Sam, I take it was exactly the same. The emotions in the fan zone. You know, that full-time whistle, just the kind of disbelief that we'd actually done it, because it took so long to sink in, didn't it? It's still sinking in now, really.
It really is. It's still sinking in as we continue to enjoy the moments, and thankfully this is something wonderful about social media, because you get everybody's different angles and aspects. It's one of the positive things about it. But it was really special for us because we were actually in Newcastle. We got to enjoy it at one of the fan zones that was there. Absolutely brilliant. Times Square we were at, and then walked up to the cathedral on the hill. Yeah. And oh my goodness, and as Alex mentioned earlier, the cars beeping the horns all the way, everybody just descending centrally to the stadium, to St. James's Park, with all the lights flashing, everybody singing and chanting. Oh, it was so special to go there afterwards and just be there at home. My goodness, phenomenal.
Well, we had somebody on the fan forum last. Who was it that lived in London that came on, Billy? Sorry, Peter, yeah. He was on, and he lived in London, and Newcastle fans were like walking past his window as he was on with us, and he says the noise outside is incredible. Alex, for you, obviously, being in that fan zone, it would have been fantastic 2 years ago when we were there to see us do it, but yesterday felt different. I know that we couldn't be there, but you know what? I think everybody was there in spirit. The spirit of Newcastle was at Wembley Stadium yesterday, no matter where you were watching it.
Yeah, Liverpool were never going to win that final. Never. I always use this analogy when we have games like that, of how many times out of, if you play that game 10 times, how many times do we win it? And I think we win it 10 out of 10 times. There is never a situation in which they can win that purely because of the spirit of the fans and the players and the coaching staff. It's everybody's been gearing up for it, Yeah. Even the club saying it's our time, even pre-match, everybody's saying it's our time. We just wanted it more. Everybody wanted it more. And this is what we said in the preview to the final, is it doesn't matter about technical quality. Not at a final. You just need to give a bit more. And they knew that, and they executed it perfectly. And
Liverpool didn't know what hit them yesterday. They weren't expecting that from us.
Not at all. Well, it was really simple stuff. It was long ball, winning second balls. It was aggression. It was fight. It was running. Yeah, and they didn't have an answer for it. They weren't up for it. They didn't want it.
And by the way, a big shout out to Liverpool themselves, because Arne Slot, very magnanimous in defeat, didn't make any excuses. Said Newcastle were the better team. Are you watching Arteta? That is how to take a defeat. The Liverpool players, before Newcastle went up to get the winners' medals, Gakpo, Robertson, Slot himself, walking around making sure they shook hands with every single Newcastle player. I thought that was incredible. And to be fair, most of the Liverpool fans that I've seen comment on the game today have said congratulations to Newcastle. That is a proper club, Manchester United. That is how to deal with opposition. Absolute, a proper football club as well. And by all accounts, the fans mixed well yesterday. But Liverpool fans, well done for yesterday as well. And I'm sure he'll go on and win the league anyway. So there you go. But now we've got loads of super chats to get through, and then we are going to play the montage, which, if you thought that watch along was emotional, I've worked my ass off.
Fragile for this, Paul, man. I'm too fragile.
Well, listen, I've worked my ass off this afternoon, scrolling through, getting as many photos as I could and stuff like that. And the music is the one that we normally play, so it goes perfectly with the celebrations. But Keith Truscott says, apparently the second goal was disallowed because Bruno was impeding the keeper's view. Yeah, I mean...
It's ridiculous. You got a hand to it.
Yeah, he saved it. I mean, that was a strange one.
He should have just took it to his midriff, and that would have been the end of it, instead of trying to parry it.
Yeah, absolutely. Stoic Protector says, and how good is it that we beat Liverpool of all clubs? Makes it all the sweeter. I don't mind Liverpool, sometimes when they act in a class behaviour like they did yesterday. I think that just goes to show that
I don't know, Paul, during the game they were a bit divey-wivey, weren't they?
Well, that was the players, yeah. I mean, obviously, yes, but I'm talking about the reaction. We don't get
they were fantastic.
The ball wasn't the right shape or whatever it was. Slot just came out.
Yeah, but even so, silly disallowed goals, playing, nearly 11 minutes of added time. There were elements.
It could have been more. It could have been more goals for Newcastle. Absolutely.
Nonsense behaviour from the officials. But it didn't make a difference.
No. Daniel Evans says, has Eddie Howe worked out Liverpool? Will others do the same? Darren Cox says, Howe out. It's been 1 day since we bloody won anything. George T, £50 super chat from George. Thank you, buddy. I was just about to ask if there was an edited version of yesterday's show. In case I missed the rating show, I'll give everyone, including subs manager, a 10. Here's my donation for yesterday. George, it's tomorrow night, matey. We'll talk about the game in more detail. Tonight's just about celebrating the occasion. Ike for PM says, Tuchel should get the freedom of the city. From the moment he called up Big Dan Burn, I knew we'd win it. I had a daft 5 at 50-1. Big Dan Burn scoring anytime and win. Spike Milligan says, still on cloud 99. Now we take this win and win all our remaining games. Susan Fagan says, do we all agree that Eddie Howe is the man to lead us now? Still feel like I'm dreaming. I thought Doob should have played, but what do I know? Eddie knows best. McFly says, I didn't give us a chance yesterday. Never been so happy to be wrong. Sobbed my heart out when we won in How We Trust. John Cook says, I still don't have words. Such an incredible moment. Absolutely amazing. Peter Bjordford, congratulations on a very deserved win. An absolute stellar performance against a very good team. Stoic Protector says 1,600 watching, brace for it. Well, there's 1,800 watching now across both platforms tonight. You're in for a treat. Stevie's been a member for 30 months. Yesterday was ours and the future is black and white. Joe Wilkinson says, never thought I would be able to share a trophy with my kids. Son's 29, daughter 19, on video call, all 3 of us. It was amazing. Stoic Protector has gifted 50 Toon Review memberships. That's incredible. Thank you so much, buddy. What a donator he is to the channel. C15 Rise, Tino Bird, J7, Isak Pope are my top 5 yesterday. They're all my top 5, if you know what I mean by that. Keith Truscott said, so glad we beat a top 6 club and not a lesser one. Shows just how amazing we are. Michael McIntyre with a super sticker. Thank you, buddy. Jens says, oh, holy Moses. What a match. I lost my voice from celebrating 1-0, still without the voice. Cara was honest, said we should have won 3 or 4. Bruno's Magic Hat says, I think we can say it that Sandro has paid us back. Jackson Carney says, Toon Army, New Orleans checking in. We danced on Bourbon Street yesterday. That would have been incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right, here we go. These are a montage that I put together for the celebrating the final, the win yesterday. All the pictures, I'm sure, will get you emotional as we look back at what was just an incredible day for Newcastle United and their fans. It's around 4 minutes. Sit back, enjoy the photos, take it all in, because we are Carabao Cup champions. And there you go.
Outstanding.
Tell you what, I mean, bloody hell. That just makes the hair stand up just looking back at it. There's so many in the chat saying they've gone, completely gone. I mean, look, there was so many things to talk about yesterday. Seeing Amanda and me and Dad there, you know, and just the decision to play Nick Pope. You know, we were all sort of saying that, but Nick Pope stood up and was magnificent yesterday. You know, Fabian Schär stood up and was magnificent. I mean, Billy, looking back at all those pictures, it's memories that will just completely last for a lifetime.
Oh, 100%. You know, every single minute of that day will be etched on our hearts forevermore. And they say that when a player plays at Wembley, it kind of flies by. But, you know, when you win, I'm sure that you've got things to kind of go back and remember it by. So all the players will remember it all and know what it's like to win a trophy and hopefully be hungry for more. That's what I'm hoping for, and I think that's what we're going to happen. That's definitely going to happen.
The thing that got me the most, Jim, in doing that montage and watching it again was thinking of Dave. You know, looking down how much he was since the takeover. He was really looking forward to seeing us win a cup. And I know he'd have been looking down yesterday. You know, we mentioned it this morning, Sam and Stu Flyboy as well. You know, your viewers we've lost and colleagues we've lost. You know, and I think everybody yesterday who's lost loved ones will have immediately, you know, turned to them and thought, you know, that this is for you kind of thing. You didn't get to see it, but they'll be looking down so proud of what Newcastle United did yesterday. The way the fans conducted themselves, the took over Wembley. Gary Neville said he'd never felt Wembley shake until Dan Burns scored that goal. I mean, Sam, looking back at those photos, it just brings everything back. It's memories that are still full in our head, but actually seeing the players celebrate like that, how much they want to belong to Newcastle United. Bruno's interview after the game, it was just, it's all incredible.
It couldn't have gone any better. Picture perfect magic was made. I mean, you've got the shots that are inspiring, like the Isaac Van Dijk, like, get out of it. Who are you? Absolutely love that. The shots of Joe Linton, like, celebrating every single interception, every single tackle, like Burns celebration. It just, a lot is there, but you've also got the moments of just pure emotion on players' faces, and like you know, I think Bruno's speech at the end, he got the sense of the fan base. He knew exactly how we were all feeling. He mentioned the time. He mentioned the people who haven't been around to actually see this moment and enjoy it with us. Like, he just captured everything. He honestly, well played by Bruno for doing that. And I don't know if people also saw on social media, but I think it was maybe the week before the game, a young fan went to see him in training and give him a hat because he wanted him and Bruno to match. And there's a photo with this tiny kid with the bucket hat, and that's the hat that he wore. That is a nice touch. So good on you. Good on you.
I mean, even the players going to the box park after the game, you know, spending time with the fans, and you know, it was just incredible to see. And I, you know, like you said, Stato, we are going to win more trophies. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that the 70-year thing was hanging over our heads, and I think that for me is the biggest relief from yesterday. Is that, you know, I think that flowed out in every single player, every single fan yesterday. Was that monkey's off our back.
Yeah, it was a lot of pent up emotion, something that I wouldn't even understand at my age, because there are people who are in their 60s and stuff that, you know, they've had to deal with it a lot longer than we have. So it's just incredible. And this group of players now, there have been players this season and the last couple of seasons that we've loved, some more than others, some that we've been critical of, some that maybe we feel their time is coming to an end, and even ones that have recently departed the club, such as Miggy. This entire group have contributed to this cup win, regardless of whether it's sort of a Callum Wilson and we think it's coming to an end, or not to name drop him specifically, but anyone in that squad, they're now immortal. It doesn't matter and it doesn't really matter what happens for the rest of the season. Of course, we'd like to kick on, but regardless, if anybody has a pop at Harvey Barnes's price or Callum Wilson's legs, doesn't matter. We want a cup. None of it matters anymore. They did what they did it. So it's just about that.
And it was a particularly good day for Mr. Almiron yesterday, because he'll get a winner's medal and he got Messi's shirt. So he had a rather good day yesterday, did Miggy. And I'm sure he was delighted that obviously we won. Elliot Anderson in the crowd, it was fantastic. But, one man, and we said this morning, Sam, but one man in the name of Eddie Howe. Just what this man has done for our football club. And I will reiterate what I said this morning. He has had criticism from us as well. People wanting him out, people not wanting him out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. You're perfectly entitled to that. But I think now, people that saying Eddie can't manage the big games, he can't take us to the next level. This man can. And, yesterday was a perfect example of what Eddie Howe can do, for such a big game, to completely outfox Arne Slot and a Liverpool side who, let's be honest, have played some great football this season and have been up there with certainly some of the best teams in Europe for football. And that's why they're so far ahead in the Premier League. They've been magnificent. But yesterday, they didn't lay a glove on us, apart from maybe one save that Nick Pope made, and yes, they scored at the end. But apart from that, Mo Salah, he's still trying to get out of Livramento's back pocket right now. And just an incredible performance. But Eddie Howe is just, this man has done what some of the great managers that have come in have failed to do. And bring silverware to Newcastle, Billy. And you've got to take your hats off to him, that he is the man that has done this. And let's face it, with no signings in the last 3 windows, he's gone and won the cup.
Well, all we wanted was for us to do what we wanted to do. The game was going to be about us. And Eddie Howe made that top of his list of how we were going to play that game. Pay no respects. We're going to smother them, strangle them, not allow them to play, out-fitness them, out-run them, out everything them, really. And I think it was a master plan. The Livramento thing, Salah didn't track him back, so he was up and down that line all day long. And if it was overtaken, Dan Burn would go out and marshal him. It was just a tactical master plan from and I've said it. I wanted him out at one point, but what a fantastic manager he is. He's got the brains, that you don't see with many managers. They don't pay so much attention to detail as what Eddie Howe does. And we're reaping the rewards for it now. Since he come into the club, he's avoided relegation when unlocked impossible. He's got us in the Champions League, and now he's won us our first trophy for 56 years, 70 at home. So, the bloke's now immortal in Newcastle United history.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, he'll always have that. And Sam, he has got legendary status now. The players do as well, but the manager himself, he has come in, he's rescued us from relegation, like Billy said, Champions League, difficult season last season, but we almost qualified for the second phase had it not been for a ridiculous penalty at PSG. God knows where we could have gone after that. Once you're into a 2-legged occasion, look how well we played against Arsenal in 2 legs in the Cup this season. You just never know. But the man was a genius yesterday. He knew how he was going to play. He knew what he wanted to set up. The players went and did what he asked to do. Don't get me wrong. But he just studied that game yesterday, Sam, and my God, did it pay off.
Yeah, like we got a little bit of an Easter egg in one of the post-match interviews as well, to say that, he didn't play the sort of side, the strongest side, because he in the lead up to it, because he didn't want to give anything away. We always hear from Eddie, we just play the next match ahead of us. That's all we're thinking about right now. And obviously we're scratching our heads. You've got to have one eye on it. He's had his eye on that probably all season long, thinking this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And he executed it perfectly. And bravo to the team for playing their part in his plan as well, because he has said at times when it hasn't gone as instructed, it was just theatre to watch. But this has been something that's been marinating for weeks in his head, which is just outstanding foresight on his behalf. We couldn't have asked for a better lead up in terms of, you know, Liverpool's game in the Champions League either. I think that gave us as fans certainly a lot of confidence. It certainly did me. And I just think, you know what, I held my hands up when I was, you know what, I was sort of wrong about Eddie Howe, born out of frustration. But when you look at a manager's CV, you look at their accolades, and getting this trophy after so long with having no backing in transfer windows because of PSR, bravo, masterclass.
Well, the thing is as well, let's not forget that a thing that was always hanging over Eddie Howe was, oh yeah, fantastic manager, but what's he won? And this is the, you know, this is the first of many now, I think, and Eddie is the man to take us forward. By the way, a quick thing, I didn't think Lewis Hall was there yesterday, but he was. He was. If you watch the celebrations when the players come running on
him.
No. If you listen, mate. There's now a clip of the players running onto the pitch, and Lewis Hall has a brace on his foot, and he hops on one leg onto the pitch.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
there's also a clip of them FaceTiming him from the dressing room afterwards.
Listen, whoever that was, everyone's thinking it's Lewis Hall. I said that he wasn't there. Oh, it's a fake one, is it? Okay, fair enough. That's fine. There you go. Somebody's obviously edited that in.
Losers.
Thought that was amazing, considering he was in a hospital bed a few days before the final. But there you go. Apparently, he was one of the coaching staff. Okay, well, who cares? But anyway, the celebrations at the end. I mean, if you look at the bench before that final whistle, Alex, they were all just. And Alex Isak said it in his interview that, you know, when he's watching from the sidelines there in the last few dying seconds of that game, it's 2-1, and you just want Newcastle to boot the ball anyway. It was nerve-wracking, but for those players, you could see on the bench they were all up, they were ready, and it was incredible.
Yeah, I don't think. I think this is when neutrals maybe were on our side so much, because you could see how much more it meant to everybody, whether it was a player or a fan or the coaching staff. When you get to full time, if you go and look at the last sort of 10 winners of the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, maybe Leicester's win possibly being the only exception. When they win, you know, it's elation, but it's elation. It's running around celebrating, happy smiles, really, really fun. Whereas when we won yesterday, it was turned up to 11. It's not just running around with glee. It's a literal outpouring of, you got players in tears on the floor, don't know what to say, don't know where to look, don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when you get sort of a Chelsea or an Arsenal or somebody, you know, it's just all, yeah, let's all jump on the corner flag. It's generic happiness. Not taking, you know, we're not being the emotion police. Their happiness is completely valid. But it just felt like another level for everybody involved with the football club for us yesterday. It was so much more for everyone.
A few more super chats to go through. Mansuk, where do you want your statue, Edward Howe? Dan Robinson says, what a game. Still on cloud 99 with a flake and sprinkles. The disallowed Isak goal was a joke. Anything to protect the cartel, but it wasn't enough. Jack, member for 4 months on the channel. What a match. Said to me, Dar, before the corner, the Burn was scoring. He did. Absolute stellar performance from players, managers, sideline staff, and the like. Level 7 Dave has gifted a Toon Review membership. Thank you, buddy. Keith Truscott said, for God's sake, I'm away with the tears again. Jens, Norwegian media, disgusting. Yesterday, after we won, they put a photo of a pool player writing criminal the way they played. I'm disgusted. Just let it go over your head. The fact is, we've won. Graham, member for 7 months on the channel. Since my dad died, we've qualified for Champions League and now won a cup. I'm starting to think my dad was the curse. Oh, bloody hell. Abs, it took a while, but my God, was it worth it? Great coverage from the Toon Review. Darren Cox says, you see Eddie Howe say they held back in Premier League to save it. Well, he didn't sort of throw the game or anything. He just played different tactics and different players. Peter, who's been a member for 23 months. What a 68th birthday present. The Toon winning the Carabao Cup, the only gift on my list. Stoic Protector with another super chat. Besides the obvious, I'd like to also offer my thanks to Cher and Pope. They both played their socks off and each surprised me with a Class A game. George Graham with a member for 6 months now. Going to watch from the start, but needed to say, what a team, what a manager, what a club. What would you rate the fans out of 10? How are the lads Cup heroes? And Stoic Protector says, by the way, over 10 minutes overtime, that was crazy. Yeah, Alex made a point of bringing that up. But listen, Billy, they were always going to get that, weren't they? We said it in commentary that we, if there was they would add a plenty time on.
Well, the fact of the matter, the VAR, that was a ridiculous waste of time, really, because it was blatantly onside. They checked throughout 3 minutes doing that. And then they added on 5 for it, which is probably why they checked it for so long. I thought, to be honest, I thought the referee wasn't as bad as he could have been, but he wasn't great either. He was a little bit one-sided, I thought, at times. Didn't get a yellow card out, did he? I don't think anyone got booked, did they?
For time wasting. Tonali got booked for time wasting. So did Nick Pope
as well. Nick Pope, yeah. But not for kicking or anything like that.
No. Zishan's just come in with a £50 super chat. Thank you very much, Zishan. A massive congratulations to the whole Newcastle family. Had my whole family and friends watching the match with me, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I couldn't watch the game after Chiesa scored, but came running back in at full time. Jens says, I turned 40 on Saturday. Perfect weekend. Just wow. It is a wow. And I don't think it's going to really settle in for a lot of people for quite some time. The Naked Noise Boy, been a member for 13 months on the channel, says, bloody hell, stat. Sound rough as hell. Rough as I feel, sorry. Lots of footage from outside St. James's Park to send. It's still rendering. Toon. Well, Alex, let's have a look at some of the photos. Well, we've got 4. There you are. Sam looking like she's out the band Kiss.
Yes.
Bad manners, yeah. Alex, you got a very stern grimace on your face as if, we are the champions, bring it on. I will fight anybody right now. There you go.
Glasses, man.
Look at Alex's glasses, man. They're away.
Oh, yeah, they were. To be fair, they had to be recovered several times. When Dan Burn scored, they went flying, and my wife did have to go and fight them and repair them. So she was magnificent in getting that sorted.
That's quality.
Yeah, I nearly had to watch the second half squinting. So,
Sam, obviously with your dad, an amazing occasion. There you are outside St. James's Park.
Absolutely.
And, no, why have I uploaded the same photo twice? Hang on a minute. What's gone wrong there? Where's the other one I was looking for?
To use at a report, you.
It's not. I did upload them. I promise. Have I got the right one this time?
While you're looking, I need to give a shout out to Andrew Hutton. Sorry you couldn't make it to the pub yesterday, mate, but I hope you had a great day. Oh, there's baby dad. Yeah.
I mean, that tash is just incredible. It really is. It's unbelievable.
Spectacular.
Oh my God! I mean, again, it's memories, isn't it, guys? It's just absolute
shout out
memories.
Everybody that did come and say hello yesterday. There was a lot of people that came to say hello to me and Sam, and said hello to obviously you two as well, Paul and Billy. That they love the channel and stuff. So there was a lot of positivity, and yeah, it was crazy in the fan zone because a lot of people near us knew who we were, and everybody kind of. We had our own little group. It was very cool.
Yeah, it was.
But when we scored, obviously all the beer went up in the air. It was very festival like. So that was very fun.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not usually beer at festivals, though, Stato.
Well,
yeah.
That's a very good point. Kenzie says Sam has Gene Simmons' tongue. Yeah, out of Kiss, of course.
Thanks.
I know, right?
Yeah,
you don't know what I'm thinking.
No, we really don't. Billy. It's a celebratory night.
Need to send some more photos. We've got some classier ones. You've just picked all the bad ones. That's a less drunk one.
Right. I'm very sorry, but I only
send that.
Well, I didn't get that one, Sam.
Maybe
I did and I didn't download it, but maybe I found the one with the
they're
glasses
funny
off his
ones.
face. Alex Turkish Tune with a super chat. Why you took seconds for Isak's disallowed goal? They didn't even show VAR photo there. Livramento was fab. Is it only me thought it would it be the same if Hall was available? Still celebrating the Toon rules.
And I think Lewis Hall would have tore them to bits even more so.
Yeah.
Even more so.
Bill Rogers, I did get your song, mate. Yeah, I'm going to play that tomorrow night on the review show. I haven't had a chance to download it yet, but I will. I've listened to it and it's brilliant. So, yeah, it's great. We've got over
Livramento, by the way. Just for the Livramento thing, I know we'll talk about the game in a bit more detail tomorrow when we do the review. But a few of us did mention Livramento's performance against West Ham. I thought for the stamina and speed made a lot of sense, and now you can see why it was done that way, because he executed that perfectly against Liverpool, and the whole game plan with the fact it definitely helped. It was a happy accident that Trent wasn't available, because any long balls, I mean, Dan Burn just stepped up and just made sure nothing was a threat. So Livramento literally did the running of 3 people. It was immense.
Stoke Protector says, I'm on my first trip to Newcastle in 2 weeks. I'm so honoured to be visiting and having a stadium tour at this time. Oh, you'll have a ball. Alan Tidwell says, how many times have we complained about Dan Burn's heading ability, and then he pulls that one out of the bag? Well,
all is forgiven.
Listen,
only need one.
Can I just say that I think we've saved every single set piece for yesterday, because every single one we took, we caused Liverpool problems with.
Apart from the first.
Yes, we'll go through that. But just so different to see us actually threaten on a set piece. It was fantastic. And of course, you know, the goal for Burn, but we had created a couple of chances earlier than that. You know, crosses came in and clearances over the bar and things like that. But you know what? Everything just came together for us yesterday, Sam, didn't it? It just everything.
Just it was poetry in motion. We just looked threatening throughout. I loved the shithousery of our players. We were just up for it. I'd be intrigued to know the team talk beforehand, because I've never seen the players they were so composed. It was like it was just, they were up for it, but they were composed and just had the right tempo about it, but just having those just bursts of fury down the lines, down the middle, just brilliant.
Liverpool didn't have an answer, and I like the way Alexander Isak spoke after the game about, you know, admitting that he had a terrible first half. He wasn't getting in the game and he was frustrated, but he had a chat with Eddie Howe at half time, and obviously changed the way he played in the second half, i.e. moving away from Van Dijk. And obviously that's how he got the second goal, because he took a couple of steps back rather than try and be the first man to the ball. He took steps back and was able to hit that, and it was obviously a fantastic hit. I laughed at Thierry Henry because CBS did the game as well yesterday, and Thierry Henry talking to Eddie after the game, saying about Bruno for Liverpool's goal. Thierry Henry was like, why did Bruno try and do that and try and do a spin like that? And he says, I was in the stands and I was furious with Bruno for doing that. And then he just went, as if to say, and probably Bruno. But things like that, Alex, they get quite forgotten when you celebrate now. It doesn't matter, does it?
I mean, it's the same. I won't mention the name, but it's the same when you have dribbly people and you complain when they lose the ball. Yeah. You know, you want a flair midfielder who's going to get out of tough situations with a bit of pizzazz. It's going to happen sometimes. It's part of it. It is part of it. It's the same as if you're playing less technically gifted, big lump centre halves. You're gonna lose that in certain scenarios sometimes as well. It's just the nature. You can't have a 100% well-rounded player. They don't exist. They're robots. And you know, if Bruno didn't do stuff like that, he wouldn't be half as impressive as a player. So just maybe don't do it in the dying seconds of a cup final next time. This was lucky because we did have a 2-goal cushion, so it worked.
I mean, look, it happens, like you say, and it did happen. It doesn't matter anymore. The fact is we won the game, and it didn't hurt us. It could have, but it didn't. This is the way. This is the way football. There's still people asking about Alex's hair dye. It's happening, guys.
I'm doing it tomorrow, guys. I've literally just got back from Newcastle. I had to drive all the way back home. I've just got home, jumped on the show. And I've got work tomorrow. So as soon as I finish work, I'll be getting the hair sorted. It's been planned.
So on the official review of the game tomorrow night, 7:00, people, you will see.
That is the plan, yes.
We have a special guest who will be Eminem. So really, really looking forward to that. Some people are saying that, Liverpool, people are saying, how bad Liverpool were. Liverpool themselves aren't saying that. They just said they were beaten by the better team. So I'm not taking anything the pundits are saying, quite honestly, because, we know what they're going to come out and say.
I'll tell you who was bad, Paul. I'll tell you who was bad. Mo Salah. Mo Salah was awful. And not just a case of not getting into the game going forward.
Yeah.
Why didn't he ever track back? Not once did he track Livramento back. He had carte blanche to do it. He wasn't Livramento.
By the way, just as you were talking about your hair, Susan Fagan says, when's Alex going blonde? Tomorrow. By the way, some of the Liverpool tactics were really strange. I found yesterday. McAllister, Mark, and Dan Burn I found unreal. It just absolutely nonsense. And also, when Federico Chiesa came on, my God, he is some player, by the way. And I noticed that a lot of Liverpool fans commenting on social media last night saying that they can't understand why Slot is keeping him sitting on his arse.
Because he's always injured.
Yeah, but he hasn't been for a while, Alex. He's been sitting on the bench as substitute. And, I can't... I mean, he looked so dangerous yesterday when he came on. He was wanting the ball. He was doing things. He scored the goal. But, I mean, that's not for us to worry about. But the fact that McAllister was marking Dan Burn, I mean, who comes up with that? Who decides that one of the smallest players on the pitch is going to mark the tallest?
I think that was dumb tactically. That Arne Slot coming out and just saying, "Oh, well, we play zonal." Yeah, well, fine, but you can still like identify that early on. Like even Robertson made note that, and you could see him looking as well. It was dumb. You change it. Like, fine, you can do zonal, but just have someone else where Dan Burn is. You can still do zonal. It just didn't make any sense.
It was outrageous
at all.
And Sam, at the end of the game, how Joe Linton didn't get booked for his challenge on Harvey Elliott, I'll never know in a million years.
Sit down.
It literally, that's exactly what it was.
It's like a Mortal Kombat move. Like, get over here.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I mean, the thing is about Big Joe is he plays like a tank, but he's got the voice of he's so gently spoken, isn't he? He's sort of...
nah.
You wouldn't get that his voice was so, light.
Linton.
Yeah.
But
it's not the Brazilian David Beckham voice.
Doesn't
it
he?
kind of
like,
is, yeah.
When he's given it, he's just so bellowsome. But his interview after, that's what you're talking about. I was just
but we actually we don't hear his voice when he does that screaming into the crowd. So maybe it does sound a bit high pitched. We just
but one of the highlights of the match yesterday was when he did it to the Liverpool fans, when he made the tackle in his own box and then he went behind the goal screaming right in front of the Liverpool fans. Ultimate shithousery from Big Joe.
Yes.
I thought it was absolutely fantastic. We've got Dan Robinson with a super chat. If Stato welches, he should have to do the beard.
He's not going to Welsh.
He's not going to Welsh. What does Welsh mean?
Renege.
All right, okay. Alex Turkish Toon says, so jealous living 3,000 miles away from St. James's Park. You lucky bastards. I tell people to support their local, yet worship Newcastle. Alex has lost his voice like me. Emmett says, thank you for everything, Amanda, our queen. Roadblock says, I'm 73 and have been a Toon fan since my dad took me to the match. I was doubting I'd ever see us win before I checked out. A bit like hoping it would snow at Christmas, but yesterday made up for everything. This is just the start.
Do you know what else I want to say? I watched the game again afterwards, twice actually. I'm not obsessed with anything.
No.
Sky's coverage, which was then transported onto ITV, it's fantastic. Yeah. The genuine love for the Newcastle win was great. It never was celebrating our goals as they went in. To be fair,
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
You know, and they were really happy about Newcastle winning. Which,
yeah,
you know, we do criticise them when they're against us, but yesterday they weren't. Fantastic.
I don't think they could have been any different because of
No,
how
that's probably
good
true.
it was. If there was even a bit of,
Even Jamie
it would have
Carroll
been
was
so
happy, wouldn't he?
obvious.
Yeah, but what I did laugh at was if you watch when I think Dan Burn and Isak are getting interviewed, and you look at Carragher, he takes a complete step back and he's got his head down, and I'm thinking that is so funny. He doesn't want to get involved with the conversation at all. You could see him. He took a step back away from the table. He wanted nothing to do with the interviews with the Newcastle guys. But you know, Jamie Redknapp did, to be fair. But I mean, CBS, Micah Richards. I mean, how can you not love that guy? He
did the Dan Burn dance,
doing the Dan Burn dance with him again. And what I loved, what Richards said was, as Dan Burn was walking away, saying, "Guys, please get back in the Champions League." Because you know, that was a lovely thing to say. And listen, he's one of my favorite pundits out there, Mega Richards. He is just hilariously funny. He knows his stuff, and he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And you know, he was on the podcast with Gary Lineker this morning as well, talking about the game, just saying how pleased he was for Newcastle. Shearer wasn't there because I guess Alan has a bit of a sore head this morning, given some of the photos of Mr. Shearer after the game yesterday. But
he sent some videos in though, Paul. Which
he did.
Which are hilarious.
Yeah. Not many came in after the game though, Bill.
No.
He sent one in just after the final whistle, dancing around. But I mean, seeing Shearer, you know, Anton Deck there bouncing around, Elliot Anderson bouncing around like a proper fan. That's what it was all about yesterday. It was proper fans. Everybody came together yesterday as an area. And Sam, the 29th of March, Newcastle have put it down as a celebration. There is going to be hundreds of thousands on the streets of Newcastle.
Oh my goodness! Like this is the type of thing that you dream of, seeing the you know, the open top bus, you know, the champagne, you know, popping like cigars for everyone. Like, what? It's just going to be magical for everybody of the Northeast. It's so overdue, and it's our time. It's our time, and the lads have worked so hard to get us here. It's going to be a really proud moment for everybody, and I think to just have everybody there is going to be fantastic to celebrate together.
I mean, there literally will be. It'll be jam-packed. I'm going to make sure I'm there. I'm going to record every moment. It's just going to be an incredible atmosphere on the streets of Newcastle. I don't know whether you've seen the team arriving back at Newcastle Airport today. You know, there was fans just, you know, outside the airport at the fences. And Eddie got off with the cup and he waved to the fans and lifted the cup in front of them. And then when there were all the players coming off with the medals around their necks and kissing the medals, and I think it was Joe Willock was like dancing in front of the camera. You know, this means so much to the players as well, Alex. It's not just us fans. You can see how much it means to every single one of those players.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the players fall into two categories in the club. It's players who were winners who joined us recently because they want to, you know, they want to be part of the project and help Newcastle grow and win trophies. So you sort of your Trippiers, Isaks, and Tonali's, you know, they've won stuff. They know what it's like. They wanted us to progress. And then you've got players that have come here previously. You know, whether it was Byrne, Joelinton was already here, Cher was already here, Jacob Murphy was already here, and the other side of it that possibly never thought they'd maybe get this. Because you know, a lot of players, I mean, no disrespect to them as players, you know, Fabian Scher's had a fantastic international career and stuff with Switzerland, but players like sort of Murphy, Cher and Dan Burn probably would have imagined that they would maybe have had a good career in football, playing in a top division, but still maybe not being, you know, to be in that bracket where you're winning. It's a tiny bracket. It's minuscule. So a lot of these players probably of course, you dream it, but realistically, it's a long shot unless you have a good season and get a transfer to one of the historically big clubs. So to be able to take this club that you were already at and progress it and improve yourself as well and make it happen, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all. I think even Leicester was different. Leicester was just a good recruitment, a good balanced side that worked really well. Whereas I think this is different. We didn't just click. This has been 3 years of hard work and self-improvement for a lot of the players. It's very different.
Well, so
so
some of the players
mean a
said
lot
that.
to,
Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
I mean, just he epitomized everything. And again, he made, when he was talking to CBS, he said about, taking a pay cut to come to Newcastle because he believed.
100%.
He believed in what he was being told. And he said it's been a little bit of a rocky road here and there. But this, that rocky road has led to this. This is what it's all about.
The captain situation, I loved the fact that you had.
Oh, the three. I love the three of them.
There.
Yeah.
Amber. So we basically had when did Lascelles become captain? 2016.
10 years ago,
something like that.
Yeah.
It was about 10 years ago, and obviously he took over he took the captaincy under Rafa. It was an absolute dumpster fire, to be honest. He was the fact that we had a young man step up. We had no leaders at all. So you've got the past.
Yeah, Alan Pardew as well. Got quite emotional talking about you.
He was happy as well.
He was absolutely delighted. So it means a lot. I think I wonder where Steve Bruce was yesterday, and
I don't care. I'm sure most of us don't either.
At the King Power Stadium, probably.
Well, probably, watching Man United, absolutely.
Probably watching Coventry beat Sunderland.
Oh, yes. They did, didn't they? So all those Sunderland fans who really in the service station shouting at Newcastle fans, 6 in a row, choking on your cheesy chips and letting the tyres down of the buses. How did that work out for you?
That was a shits trick, by the way.
Yeah, of course it was.
Dreadful.
Of course it was.
They were arguing with the Jimmy Hill statue again, by all accounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of statues, by the way, I know everybody keeps joking about what statues are going to go up, but I was thinking about this earlier. Every statue we've got is generally of somebody who hasn't won anything. So no disrespect to Sir Bobby Robson and Alan Shearer, of course, but we've got a lot of
Bobby Robson's won a lot in football.
Not specifically for us though.
No, but he was a club legend.
He's very important in football anyway.
Yeah.
But now we've suddenly got about 30 that are eligible now under that criteria for being a winner. Who gets the statue?
These are nice new problems. Good problems to have.
Good problems to have. Yeah. Simon mentions that supporter in China saying he only started supporting Newcastle when he saw Alan Pardew headbutt the whole player. Mailer, wasn't it? Mailer or whatever his name was?
Yeah, David Mailer.
Yeah, Melia, something like that. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right. Let us know in the chat if you want to see the montage once more before we finish the show. Just because we're going to milk every single second of this, and why the fuck shouldn't we? If you want those memories, let me know in the chat. If you want the montage played again, there's a super chat from Stoic Protector. The statues are not a joke for us. We mean it. Eddie's got to get one. I'm sorry, he has to. He's got to.
Well, we're about to have a new stadium. Stands named after certain people. Surely to God.
Well, I would imagine. I would absolutely imagine. Right. There is a lot of yeses coming in. I think people want to go through the emotions of yesterday again. It's unbelievable, really, isn't it? I never thought I'd be doing something like this. Like I said earlier on, it was an absolute honor to do the commentary with Billy yesterday, because me and Billy have been through hell in the last month or so. Billy ended up in hospital. So did I. I genuinely got very, very frightened of what happened to me with the mini stroke. It kind of put things in perspective for me and my family, the kids and Susan, etc. Thinking that God, if it was any worse, I wouldn't be here now. And I'm sure Billy felt the same with the problems he was going through, and you just don't know. And that's why it was very special for me to do it with Billy, because Billy's one of my best mates in this world. And to share that experience with him yesterday was a privilege and an honor. And for everyone else in the chat watching, it was just a magical experience. And for Sam and Alex to share it together as well is simply brilliant for us as a channel. So we got very scared of what was happening to us, but we're here, we saw it, we lived through it, and we are now Carabao Cup champions, and it's an incredible feeling. It really is. Are you okay, Sam?
No.
Okay. Yeah, but listen, it's special in many different ways. It was special. I don't think Susan was.
I just mentioned, Paul.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
I did love at the end. Oh, go on.
Go on.
No. Do your thing.
No. I don't think Susan thought it was very special when I went in the house singing Championes and "We Are the Champions" at the top of my voice. Just absolutely incredible.
What was your mum like, Paul? What was your mum like?
Funny enough, I haven't heard from her since.
Yeah.
So it's strange, that, isn't it? Very quiet on the Sunderland side of my family yesterday. Go on, Alex.
No, it was just I watched the end. I scrolled through and watched some of the watch along last night.
Yeah.
And I noticed as we won, like obviously you guys were super happy initially, but then it dawned on me that, and this is no disrespect in a professional capacity, that neither of you knew what to say or what to do. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess we've never prepped for this, have we? Yeah. There's no all the research and hard work that goes into this channel.
Yeah.
I just thought what do you do when you win? What do we analyze? No idea.
You're right, mate.
It just
You're right.
on me. It was quite funny.
Because
in a nice way.
We just couldn't I couldn't process it. No. I was like, oh, we've won the cup, and I'm shaking around, and then I'm thinking, okay, what's next? What do I do?
Yeah, what's the plan now? We don't have a script for this.
Yeah, it was like, and I was thinking, Billy, please say something. And he was off in floods of tears, couldn't speak, and I'm like, what the hell do we say here? We've won a fucking cup. And I mean, my voice did get high, Frieden. Yes, it did. It was like I was pulling at the old testicle hairs, but it was absolutely incredible. It really was. But listen, from us as a channel, I mean, listen, to have so many people watching tonight, to celebrate it with you guys is an honor. It really is. Susan's worked so hard in the background, putting that best bits of the watch along together. She's just a diamond. And when I was going through what I went through, she was my absolute rock. Made sure I was okay, kept me right. And she's just an incredible woman. And she spurs me on to do this more, and she keeps me going. So she works a lot behind the scenes. The mods have been incredible yesterday and throughout the watch-alongs. And the backroom staff at the Toon Review are just incredible people. The viewers, every single one of you, whether you're a member, a subscriber, or just view, it doesn't matter. You're all part of this channel, and you mean the absolute world to us. And then these three alongside me here, they're my family, and they will always be my family. And to share these moments with you guys is just such an honor. It really is. I know we take the piss out of each other all the time, which is what makes the channel, but I genuinely love the three years from the bottom of my heart. You mean so much to me, and have helped me through some very difficult moments, taking control of the channel, etc. So, all of yesterday was just for everybody. It really was. So before we go, let's just enjoy it and savor the moment again, shall we? And celebrate a wonderful day yesterday. Now, I will be releasing that montage as a separate video on the channel later on tonight. So I feel like it that deserves to stay on the channel as a separate video, just so anybody can go back and just relive it. Tangy, yes, I am uploading it to YouTube. Absolutely, matey. No problem at all. A couple of super chats to go through before we end. Nick Thornton says, imagine the scenes when we win the league and the Champions League, because it's going to happen. Stoic Protector says the statues are not. Oh, I've read that one. Billy, 100% respect for your emotion and your screaming, Paul. Most of the rest of us were crying too, and every time on replays as well. Bruv Butler says, put all their faces on the new stadium. Turkish Toon Alex says, inflation in Turkey, but who gives a fuck? The Toon won. Big Tank 9401 says, glad that Bill and Paul lived to see the milestone in NUFC's history. So are we. I also give respect to the long-time Newcastle supporters hanging in there through everything. I don't know how to take that. Thank you. James Bradley says, my face is hurting from smiling so much. Much love to you all. And thank you for all the lovely comments that have been coming in throughout that montage. That's really, really kind of you. But that's it for tonight. We are back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, where we'll actually talk about the game itself. We'll do the review. We'll tackle the player ratings. They are going to be really difficult to do tomorrow. I'm baffled as to what we're going to do. But hey, who knows? I've got no idea how it'll go. But listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. There's been over 2,000 people, which is incredible. Thank you for all your support tonight. We hope you've enjoyed looking back at yesterday like we have. It's been very emotional, but it always is with Newcastle United, whether we win or whether we lose. Either way, it's going to be emotional. Thank you so much for all your super chats, memberships. Mods, you've been incredible again. Thank you to Lady Sam, Alex, and Billy, of course. Thank you to Susan, the love of my life, for doing that fantastic montage of the watch along and making Sam cry through it. So thank you, thank you, Susan, and thank you to everybody that watched tonight. We hope you've had an absolute blast looking back at it. But we are going to milk this for everything that it is. So we will tackle the game tomorrow night. So please join us at 7 o'clock for that. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. If you're new, come and be part of this wonderful community. You've seen how amazing it is. So if you're not subscribed already, hit that button, guys. And of course, thank you, Mamaroo Records, based in Whitley Bay, channel sponsors for all your music needs. If you're ever in that area, pop in and see Steve. For all your vinyl CDs, your sport merch, your music merch, gift cards, whatever, Steve will do it for you. Tell him you're a TTR viewer. He'll do you a cracking deal. If you can't get into the shop itself, check them out online. It's pinned at the top of the description. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are Carabao Cup champions, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out the green.